Three, two, one. What's going on, everybody? Relly Rail here from Fish and Hope Productions, and we are back after a long hiatus, a long needed break. It was needed for me, at least. I don't know about y'all. It was needed for me. Of Tales Around the Pond, man. It's now episode, I believe, 4. Episode 4. It's just me this week. You know, we got a little bit of different setup. You know, I mean, for the audio listeners, you won't really be able to see. But I got the green screen set up. You know, I'm in a new spot now. You know, I got a little bit more room to like set up a little green screen where I can have room to put a camera in front, had a mic here, you know, but with the seats up and all that type of stuff. So yeah, we doing a little bit different now. But you know, it's good to be back, man. I don't know. I guess the main reason why I took a little break was just because I don't know, man. I could easily talk about stuff with other people, like just talk about life, talk about what they going through, what we as a unit have been going through. But people be busy, and I just didn't feel comfortable hounding people, asking friends and family like, "Yo, you trying to be on? You free to be on? Da 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 da." So and then excuse me, trying to do it by myself. It's cool when I feel like I have something specific to talk about, and I don't like just rambling, about nothing sometimes. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and take a break, take a break, wait until I feel comfortable to talk about it by myself, and it was good that I did because I ended up, like I said, I had to move into a new spot, I had to figure that stuff out. Still got a whole lot of other stuff I need to figure out. But main reason why I felt like today was a good day, because it is the day I'm recording this. It's the day after Chadwick Boseman, a famous actor known for playing a lot of iconic roles, such as Jackie Robinson, James Brown, and probably his most popular role, T'Challa, aka Black Panther in the Marvel movies. He passed away from colon cancer, after he had been battling it for 5 years, which is the time span in which he filmed most of his, iconic, pretty heavy duty movies. And by heavy duty, I mean like he wasn't just like standing around or sitting around. Like he would have to move around like a lot. He had, and he was dealing with chemotherapy and just the drain that cancer puts on your body anyway. And he was still doing his thing. So, for him to be able to do that is alone put some iconic status, and I'm definitely, I enjoy all of his roles. I it's always sad to see somebody go, especially so unexpected, so young, and it's sad. But one of the main things that came to my mind is, a lot of people on Twitter, have been reacting to it and, giving they think pieces and, they condolences and stuff. But one of the main things I keep seeing is people saying, to take this as a reminder to love freely, which I 100% agree with. I feel like you shouldn't be afraid to tell somebody how much you care for them, how much they mean to you, all that. But it's also like, don't be afraid to take risks, and don't be afraid to, love. Don't be afraid to love, and don't be afraid to do all these things. But it's also like, to me in my head, I think about that. Oh, the sun done gone down on me, man. Oh my gosh. Y'all can't audio listeners, y'all can't see, but the sun has gone down on me, and now I look like a shadow in my own home. Give me 1 second. Okay, it's a little better. A little better. We'll see. We'll see in post. But anyway, sorry. But yeah, they was saying about living unafraid, to take risks and do all that type of stuff. But in my head, I mean, this might just be the overthinker in me talking, the anxiety ridden person that I am talking. But in my head, it's like there's a fine line between being, fearless and being foolish. Like not being afraid to take risks is definitely an admirable trait, because I feel like, at least for me, I feel like a lot of things, I've missed out on a lot of opportunities and a lot of good, potential things, because I have decided, oh nah, it's too much. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if, yada yada yada. But I also feel like I have avoided bad things, because I was hesitant and stuff like that. So it's like, sure, you can live for the moment and, tell your crush or whatever, your feelings and stuff, and you can be afraid of, you can be afraid that they'll reject you, or that it might change your friendship, or change, or that y'all will get together and then y'all mess around and break up, after a couple weeks or something, and lead to heartbreak or something. Or you can be afraid and like wait it out and do all this type stuff, and then, they end up getting with somebody else, or, God forbid, they pass away or you pass away, and so it's like, which for me, it's which what if am I afraid of the most? Really, is it? Because neither one of those type of scenarios are necessarily a given. Neither one of them is a guarantee to happen. But they are possible. And so it's like, which one do you hang your hat on? Do you hang your hat on the fact, like, oh, I could die tomorrow, so let me live every minute of today like, it's my last? Or do you live with that idea of, I'm going to die, but not necessarily tomorrow, so let me make sure that the life that I am living is enjoyable, and that I can make the most out of it by, prolonging things and waiting for the best opportunity and all that type of stuff. Because both of those sound good, but in my head, it's like, which one do you go for? Which one do you really hang your hat on? Like I said earlier, and I don't know. For me, it's just something that halts me, and keeps me from really making any strides, because I don't ever want to make the wrong move. I'm so afraid of making the wrong move that I end up not moving at all. It could be, I don't move forward, I don't move backward, I just stand still. In a lot of ways, that's just, that's worse than, going backwards, because if you go backwards, at least you can start to move forward, but if you stand still, you're not doing anything, you're just taking up space, really, and I don't like that, but I do, because to me, it's a safe spot, it's, I don't have to worry about the what ifs. I don't have to, I don't have to worry about what's going on this side or what's going on this side. I'm only focused on where I'm at right here. And, for me, that's comfortable. Like, that lack of growth, even though I know it shouldn't be, but it's hard to take that lunge and that that leap. And that's why I applaud anybody who can just like get up and move to a new city, get a job in a whole new state, where they don't know nobody and all that type of stuff, and they just like, yeah, man, I'm just going, I got this job, I'm doing my thing, I'm not worried about none of that. I'm just, I got this one thing I'm trying to do, so I'm gonna go for it, or the people who quit their job to pursue YouTube, or live streaming or music or acting or whatever, to try and pursue it all full time and put their whole energy and time into it, you know, instead of having like that hesitancy to be like, I love this thing and I feel like I'm good at it, but maybe I should, focus on this and wait until I save this amount of money or whatever, because I don't know, man. I always live with the idea of, at least with money, where it comes to money, is that money comes and goes. Money gonna be, one day you can have, more money than you need. The next day you can be scraping pennies, trying to rub nickels together to make a dollar, type of thing. So I don't know. I feel like every time these deaths and stuff happen, especially just like with 2020 in general, like I feel like 2020 is showing a lot of people just how fickle life and time is, and how nothing is written in stone, nothing is guaranteed, and that we have to make the most of it how we see fit. Not necessarily make the most of it in how, society and the world says is the most of it, because what's the most for somebody else may not be what's the most for the next person. Like really, it's, for me, 2020 has shown that we have to make a conscious effort to be happy. Now, for a lot of people, that in and of itself is, a gargantuan task. I know for me, I'm constantly trying to recognize what is it that is actually making me happy in life. Like, if something makes me laugh or something that I enjoy happens, I'm constantly making a mental note of that. Like, okay, such and such, I really enjoy doing that. I should probably do that more. I should recognize that I like doing this and try and find stuff that's similar to this, and to see if I like that as well and try and branch off of that. Like, what is it? Like I started, what did I start? I started, when I first started drinking coffee. Like, at first I wasn't a big coffee drinker, but within this last, year and a half or whatever, I started drinking coffee. Started going to Starbucks more. I got a Starbucks like literally right outside my apartment, and so I started going to Starbucks more. And at first I started small, with mochas, and I was like, okay, I like mochas. All right, let's see what else they got out there. And then anything that was mocha related, I was messing with. Anything that was iced, I was messing with. Then I started doing the frappes and the cappuccinos and the espressos and the frappuccinos. And, and I was like, I just like coffee now. Like now, I would love to go and actually get like the coffee grinders and get my beans and all that. But, I ain't there yet. Right now, I'm still on my instant coffee grind, but I like coffee because I like coffee, I decided to try other stuff, and so I'm trying to be more open about that type of stuff, about things that I genuinely enjoy, and going from there and finding more and more stuff that I enjoy, because I feel like this world is too huge, this universe is too vast for you to only find happiness in one thing in life, one person in life. There has to be more to life than that, and really I feel like it just comes down to the fact that you have to allow yourself to be happy, for one, and you have to actively find it. It's not a lot of stuff in life that's just gonna come to you, as much as we want it to. At least for me, I definitely am in the camp of wanting divine intervention, or wanting, stuff to just fall into my lap, and taking that as like, okay, this is something I meant to do, because, I didn't have to exert a whole lot of energy. It just fell into my lap, when unfortunately that's not life. We, for whatever reason, have to, there's some people in the world who are blessed and come from affluent families where they don't necessarily have to work for material things and have to want for much, but I'm sure they still got their own internal struggles or whatever. But, for the normal person, for the layman, we have to exert energy. We have to. It's the only way to make it by. And that goes for more than just material. It goes for emotional, spiritual, physical, all that. So, I feel like I'm rambling, and I'm sure I am, but I say all this to say, don't worry about making the most, of your time and stuff, because I know for me that seems like a huge task and like a huge burden. Like, make the most of my time. Like, well, how much time do I have? I'm not sure. Is that why I should make the most? Like, don't even worry about that. Focus on honing in on what makes you happy. You don't want to be like, for me, my goal in life, and I might have even just came up with this now, but not even my goal in life. My goal by the end of my life is to be sitting on my deathbed and just feeling content, and just feeling like I'm about to just, I'm just content with life. Like, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad that I lived it. And now, I'm ready to go, to heaven, hopefully, and see what that's all about, and I feel like the only way I'm gonna get there is by actually being happy in life, actively being happy, not just taking happiness when it comes to me and seeing it as just like this thing that is it's not, it's not something that it's something that you have to try and grasp. It's something that's fleeting, and instead seeing it as something that can be attained and held on to, because I feel like it can. I don't know. In my life, I don't really know if I know people who are genuinely happy. Like, I know happy people. Like, I know there's my family members, they are, they're happy, I'll say this. I know people in my family who aren't sad all the time, because a lot of times in our minds we'll go, well, I'm not sad, so I'm happy, when that's not necessarily the case. Just because you aren't sad doesn't mean you're happy. Just because you just because you can just because you stepped in a puddle and survived don't mean you can go swim in the ocean, or something like that. It's like, so it's a lot of people that I know, family, friends, who I wouldn't necessarily label them as just happy, and that's nothing bad on them. That's just the way life has, been for them. They've had struggles, they've had obstacles, they had stuff where happiness isn't their default. It isn't their norm, But I want to get to a place where I'm genuinely happy. But like, that's my default. It's just happiness. And I don't know. That might be a far-fetched thing. It might be an impossible thing. Because like I said, in my immediate circle, I don't know anybody who is genuinely happy. But that's my goal, and so that's what I'm trying to do, man. That's why you see me doing new stuff anytime I have the opportunity, in terms of like creative ventures. That's why I'm doing this podcast. It's like, I know when I first announced this podcast, there was people who was like, oh, here he go, another new thing. Like, I feel like I announce something new all the time. Like, I say I'm going to do a podcast. I say I'm going to have my YouTube. I say I'm going to stream on Twitch. I say I'm going to make an album. I say I'm going to start drawing, taking pictures, making movies. I say I'm going to do all these things because genuinely I feel like because genuinely I want to do them, but a lot of times, I just don't have the opportunity to, or I don't have the time or the resources or whatever. But I do them because I want to. In those moments, they make me happy. Like right now, I'm happy recording this. I'm happy filming this. I'm gonna feel happy editing it and getting it all together and all that type stuff. But yeah, so I even though I feel like I'm always doing something, new, and I'm not really consistent with stuff. Like I'm not consistent with this podcast. Definitely not consistent with YouTube. I still want to do it. And I don't know. I feel like I don't know. It might also be bad. Well, not bad, but it might also be, ill placed because while I do want to be happy for me, I mainly want to be happy so I can share that happiness with others. Like, I would love if this podcast, reached thousands of years, not even thousands, hundreds of years, in my videos and my songs and, all that, just reach hundreds of years, just so I can share my happiness with others and feel like they actually are seeing that happiness. They actually are, they can receive that energy, that I put into this work, that I put into this, creation, and hope, hopefully, even if it's for a little bit, even if it's for like 2 minutes, however long the song is, 30 minutes, for a podcast, 10 minutes for a video, whatever. Hopefully in those minutes, they can latch on to my happiness and, and do that. Because there's a lot of creators who I feel like have done that for me, Kanye West, whenever he drops something, I'm happy. There's YouTubers who I watch, they drop something or they stream, I'm happy because they make me laugh, or, they have interesting ideas and stuff like that. So, friends, family, all that. So I would like to do that for other people. And that's like the main reason why I would like a platform, and by platform, I just mean like followers and stuff like that. Not because I want to be an influencer or Instagram famous or a celebrity or whatever. It's just because I want to share happiness. I want to make people feel good, because I know how hard it is to feel good. I know how much of a hassle it is to feel good, in this world where it feels like almost like it's taboo to feel good. Like it's almost like the invisible forces that do not want you feeling good. If anything, 2020 has showed that. Like every time you think something good happening, boom, 2020 is like, no sir. It's like, what you thought this was? But I would love to be that person that helps people feel good. And I don't know, and it's tough because I feel like building an audience is almost impossible. You would think it would be a little bit easier now that everybody's kind of like at home and doing all this type stuff, but it's not impossible, but it takes a lot of energy, and I don't know. I have issues with exerting energy. Like, I feel like if my stuff is not being received in terms of like not being seen, not being heard, then what's the point? Like I put all this energy and I'm the only one who listened to it, or some bot, didn't listen to it and sent me an automated message, talking about some, pay us $10 and we'll promote your stuff, da da da. And it's like, I make this stuff for me, yes, but also so people can see it and people can give me feedback and talk to me, or take something away from it, and so if nobody's seeing it, then what's the point of me making it, but or they're hearing it, then what's the point of me making it? But I don't know. Maybe that just comes from me not being as consistent as I should be. But, I know consistency is key, but it's tough if you're trying to break through a wall, and you just using your fists. Eventually you're going to break through that wall, just because that's just how science works. You beat against something enough, it's going to break down. But the pain, the pain and exertion and suffering that going to happen from you beating your fist against a brick wall, until you get through, it's like, is it worth it? Like, when you can just do something else or find another way around or make the most of where you at on this side of the wall instead of try to break through, like, is it worth it? And to me, I'm not sure. I know there's people out there who are like, I'm going to do all this stuff because where I'm at now, I'm not trying, I don't want to be there. I want to be on that other side of that wall, doing what such and such. But it's like, for me, I know what this side of the wall is. I know everything that's happening on this side of the wall. I know all of its good points and all of its bad points. That other side of the wall is different from here, but I don't know what's going on over there. In my mind, I might hope and think what's happening over there, but I don't know. Sorry, I don't know exactly what's on the other side of that wall. So I'm putting all this energy, doing all this suffering, my hands bleeding, I done broke a couple fingers trying to break through this wall. I finally get through, and I'm like, okay, well, so like who's to say like it's worse? It could be worse. It could be, it definitely could be better. It could be the best thing ever. And there's a picture of the dude. They got the picture of the dude with the pickaxe trying to get to the little, he mining, and he stops. But if he would have just kept going, it's like a mountain of diamonds and jewels and stuff. It very well could be jewels on the other side of that brick wall. But it very also could just be dust, and just nothing. So it's like, who knows, bro? Who knows? I know for me, right now it's most definitely easier to just stay on my side of the wall. But one day I'll start actually punching against it and trying to get through to see what's on the other side. Because eventually everything on this side will end up being boring, or I'll do everything that I can on this side. And once I figure out that I'm not 100% happy like I want to be on this side, then I'll have no choice but to go to that other wall, in order to reach my ultimate goal of just being a happy individual. But yeah, I say all that to say, just try to be happy, y'all. I know it's a gargantuan task, but I'm not telling you to be happy. I'm saying try to be happy. Actively go out of your way to do something that makes you happy. Right, either while you listening to this, right after you listening to this, just every single day, try to at least do one thing that made you happy. And then before you go to sleep, while you're laying in bed or, doing your nightly routine or whatever, think back, like, what were my happiest moments of this day? So it doesn't just become something that comes and goes and it's not, fleeting. It's something that starts to become a part of you. You slowly just become happy, because I feel like it's so easy to focus on the doom and gloom and all the negatives that happen during your day or during your week or during this entire year, and it's so hard to not only pinpoint the happy stuff, but actually give it its put it on the pedestal that it deserves. It's so easy to minimize happy moments, especially in this year, when everything else bad has happened, and so it's like try to make a conscious effort to be happy and to do things that make you happy, to talk to people who make you happy, to make someone else happy if that makes you happy. I know it makes me happy, so I try to do that, and and also just be nice to people. That's all what makes people happy. So be nice to people, so that's really all I got for y'all this week, man. That's my tale from the pond, man. Just be happy. Beat against that brick wall. You don't have to go, 100% at it, but start at least chipping at it. I know it's scary. I know it might seem daunting or frivolous, but at least try, because you never know what's on the other side. You never know. It could be off or not, but it's not like you can't go back. Now that I think about it, yeah. You could beat through it and it could be dust, but it's not like you can't just go right back through that hole that you built and, just go back to where you was. Okay, we back. Audio listeners, y'all getting it all right now, but video there, y'all don't even know what's going on. But yeah, so that's all I got, man. I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all week. Again, try to be happy. Try to make, try to do things that genuinely make you happy. Be nice to people. Love yourself. Love others. And I will catch y'all next week. Yes, it will be next week. I'm not sure exactly what day is. You can expect it either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. That's all I can tell you. Maybe we might have a guest again we might have a guest next week. I don't know. Maybe not. It might just be me again. But it will be next week. I promise you that, because I feel like this is a good way for me to do what I said of spreading happiness, trying to spread joy, try to spread peace. So, love y'all. Holla at y'all later. Peace.